Alrighty, folks, we're back. We're back. Unfortunately, the team behind McDEX has come out with a new version, which they're calling MUX now, and they've killed the ability for us to do basis trades like this. So we're gonna have to find something else to do. And that also means I have to wind up this trade. As you can see here, they're going to be settling this on December 1st. But if we go in and look at the actual liquidity of the pools, you can see that the exodus has begun because so many people are already just removing their liquidity. So we're going to get out while the getting out is good. If you take a look, I still have a $52 leveraged position short on Bitcoin here. I've just been basically letting it go since it didn't really make sense from the gas spend perspective to constantly be rebalancing for $5 worth of crypto. And then now that we've had this nice push forward here on price, I think it's probably a pretty good time given that the exodus has come and we've made a pretty remarkable run here. We entered this trade at 36,265, and today we're trading at 20,107. So we've gained a $54 of additional profit, including in that of $12 of funding fees we've made from the market. Again, on $100 trade, folks. So let's go ahead and close this down and see what they send back. And then we'll go over and take a look at the details and see what we ended up with a full, at the end of the day, how much we actually made by just simply letting this sit here. Yeah, there was a couple rebalance trades that I did just to show the process, but effectively, there we go. There's our so that was a leveraged position, so I didn't expect to get $52 back, but 24 seconds ago they did return $18 on that, and then we can also go look. And this is what I did. I probably should have put this on YouTube, but we were in a hurry and I didn't want my Bitcoin just sitting there a while ago. So I put it into Annex. And what Annex is a lending and borrowing platform that is similar to Compound but is deployed on Binance Smart Chain. Um, so what I did is I had $90 of Bitcoin. Remember, I took 100 and split it in half. So we now have almost doubled the amount of Bitcoin that I started with. And then I supplied it to this protocol. And then given the APY has certainly come down from when I did this. But back when I deployed this trade, DAI was giving around maybe 2% APY if you calculate in the ANN rewards, which are pretty tiny, but they do add to the process. And so yeah, if we take out the ANN, we're not making any money by borrowing and resupplying DAI here. We're just helping the protocol out and by gaining a little bit of ANN rewards in the process. In case ANN decides to spike, and gain some traction, we're in early here. But so let's kind of do some math, and I am definitely getting over being getting sick and all that crazy stuff that typically happens when the weather changes. So I apologize for the sniffles, folks. Yeah, so we've got $90 in Bitcoin, and then we have $25 in. Does Windblows have a calculator? because my math hurts. All right, so as of today's prices, we are sitting at $90.76. And then we are also of Bitcoin, and we're also sitting on 25.95. So in total, including the gas spend, in this, we basically broke even. Maybe made a little bit of money, but that's not necessarily the point. One, this was $100, so it's kind of hard to show the small APY number and really get excited about it. But now just amplify that. If you had $5,000 or $10,000 into this, that would have been an absolutely risk-free trade you could have put on, managed it a handful of times in the course of, I mean, how long have we been doing this? Let's go check it out, because I created this account the moment, specifically for this. So I transferred funds in 152 days ago, and we could do the math to see what kind of APY and all that crazy stuff, but you guys hopefully get the point, is that 152 days ago, I dropped $100 in a trade, and it stayed open that entire time. I never closed a short trade. We just simply managed that short trade. And now, because of it, the price of Bitcoin has plummeted. So if we go back to 1 year, basically, so if we go back 152 days, Alexa, what was 152 days ago?
152 days ago was Thursday, April 28, 2022.
April 2022. In April of 2022, the price of Bitcoin. Alexa, stop.
April 12th, 2020.
Well, we know what time I entered it. I was dumb. But yeah, right there. Um, we were at 36,000, and the price of Bitcoin has come down that much farther, and I'm still sitting on double of the amount of Bitcoin that I started. So that has to say something in itself, folks. Is I'm now almost doubled my Bitcoin, and I'm still sitting on $25 worth of BUSD, which we can go in here and say, hey, let's add you as collateral. And then let that transaction submit. And then what we'll do is come in here and supply. Oh, I got to enable this particular trade now. So we'll emit another transaction. I don't think we spent $16 on gas in the handful of trades that we did. So, but we also lowered our entry point of Bitcoin. So that's also the process here is, since we're dollar cost averaged down when we removed our margin from the short position when we didn't need all that extra margin and bought more long spot Bitcoin, that dollar cost averaged our price way down. All right, so now we're sitting on. Oops, somebody might be going to work. So now we're sitting on $26 of supply here. So now we're gonna go supply this up to the Annex Finance. And then basically what we're going to do is this will come down to about 30 or so. And perfect. And what we could do is borrow another maybe 25. Yeah, maybe 30. Yeah, 25 is probably a pretty good number. We could borrow another 25 DAI and put that to work somewhere else. We don't have to supply it back to the protocol, which is what we're going to get into next, folks. In my next video, we're gonna jump over and I'm gonna pull all these funds over and we're gonna continue on making even more money because there's a concept that I've been working on and testing internally. Uh, Definitely not prep.com. It is called Perpetual Protocol. Um, the Perpetual Protocol is one of the underlying technologies that MCDEX and MUX is effectively trying to emulate on a different chain and through different resources and through different techniques, of course. But we're going to go back to the source. We can go to perpetual.com and we can do a full on basis trade the same exact way that we were doing it. Unfortunately, it won't be on the Binance Smart Chain, so I'll show you how to bridge assets and all that good stuff, which you're going to need to want to know anyways. Um, with all the new chains dropping, there's a little bit of a learning curve there. But in my next video, I will demonstrate how I've taken some trades on or taken some positions. They're not necessarily trades, they can be, but you can take various positions in the perpetual protocol to create synthetic assets similar to those of, let's say, iron condors or credit spreads if you are at all familiar with options tradings. This allows you to have a specific market bias. You could say, all right, I'm in a position here where I don't know where the market's going to go. I just want to make money from it. Let's open a pretty wide iron condor and just watch the market for a while and see what happens and collect trading fees and then do it in a way where there's no possibility of liquidation because you're providing the liquidity. You're not actually opening a trade is one way to do it. Another way to do it is to provide Ethereum, but then go spot Ethereum is what you would end up doing. Is you would provide spot Ethereum and then to a protocol as collateral into a short position on ETH as well. And what that ends up providing you is with an ever increasing liquidation price. And as long as you don't use leverage or don't use much leverage, you basically can always maintain a short position and never be liquidated. Even in the most bullish run there is, you would have to have a very significant, very short term run to be liquidated in these positions, which we'll get into next. You know, there's definitely going to be some thought process around it and a little bit different mentality since we are, uh, maybe providing liquidity and having a short position and not just holding on to the asset. And then also, since we are, that I should have supplied the Bitcoin that I did hold, and then any excess stablecoin into a protocol like Annex or um, Venus. There's a couple different ones you could go to on the Binance Smart Chain. So that's the other way. I didn't fully leverage that Bitcoin that was sitting there for most of those 152 days. If I would have, thought about it, I knew about these lending and supply protocols. That could have been another way to add additional revenue to the equation that I just didn't do with this particular demo. I do it quite a lot with my own funds. I hardly ever leave stablecoins at least sitting around doing nothing. They're in a protocol or they're doing something for me. They're providing collateral or something. And that was one thing that I would change if I demonstrated this again was to put your capital to work. Even though it's Bitcoin, they're gonna give you a tiny bit. I'm getting point 0.59 supply API, so I'm getting some kind of benefit by just leaving it in there, and then you don't have to borrow. I just borrowed because back in the day when this was up around 2 or 3% APY, whatever it was, it made sense just to get a little bit of extra ANN rewards, just in case ANN decides to come back and be bullish again, or if the market turned bullish on me, I would have been, sitting pretty with additional income here that I might not have made on the short trade since we had such a rampant short um, opportunity. And then I'm glad I captured that. So, all right, folks, I am in the process of losing my voice again, like I typically do in these things. So, I'm going to wrap it up here. We are finally done with MCDEX. They did launch a new protocol called MUX, but unfortunately, like I said, there's not much of a benefit from a basis trade perspective. If you did want to just have a Binance Smart Chain way of doing leverage trading on a handful of assets, that they are definitely one option that is out there. Um, but yeah, stay tuned for that next video. We are going to be discussing perp.com and the perpetual protocol. All right, folks, I will catch you in that next video.